Right then, shall we on some podcasts? Or rather, some games for a podcast? Let's do that. Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Yeah, so my favourite game started this a couple of months ago. I'm quite proud of my piss off keyboard. I'm quite proud of my favourite game and what we talked about last season. Or well, sorry, excuse me for a second. There we go. So I'm quite proud of my favourite game, and what has gone into it in these past few months, and it got me through a really tough period as well, with everything that's happened, because if you don't know, my mum died a couple of months ago, and my favourite game kind of helped that. Not just because of the games that we talked about, but also kind of creating the episodes, putting all those together, producing all that. So yeah, been a bit of an experience season one to say the least. But my favorite game, it really helped personally speaking, and I hope anyone who listened to it, who's watching this, enjoyed it as well. So thank you for anyone who's listened, and thank you for the support if you've given it for season one. With that said, my favourite game, season one, was all about personalities, journalists, writers, basically, talking about 10 games. Last year we had, to recap, The Curse of Monkey Island, Assassin's Creed 2, Metal Gear Solid 2, Final Fantasy 7, Streets of Rage 2, Zelda Wind Waker, Final Fantasy 9, Grim Fandango, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and Quake. Tonight it's time to announce the 10 games that will make up Season 2 of my favourite game. So, let's not delay it any longer. Let's announce this sucker, shall we? First game for my favourite... Oh, by the way, I should mention before we get going properly, sorry to be a cock tease. I'm keeping 3 particular episodes towards the end of this for reasons you'll find out why in a second, or when they get announced. But we're basically going from episodes 9 through 2. Oh, sorry, episodes 9 through 2, with episode 5 missing. That'll become clear in a minute. But first off, let's just shut up, Colin. Just announced it already. Let's get this show on the road, shall we? So, episode 9 of my favourite game, season 2. Let's kick this off. It is Robotron 2084. Robotron 2084, the 80s shoot 'em up classic. And if you're in the UK games industry, you can probably guess who is coming on to talk about this. It is the wonderful, the lovely, my dear friend Christian Donlan from Eurogamer, and I have a teaser here. The play for you, which isn't in the full episode itself, but I think you should go ahead and listen to it anyway. So why not? So here's an outtake from the episode me and Christian recorded just last. You mentioned yourself these kind of IPs that have kind of gone loose now. Smash TV and Narc. Narc was rebooted for PS2 and Xbox when they were by
That's right,
Midway.
yeah, disastrous. So Midway went through a period where they rebooted a load of their licenses. They did a load of them, and they were all like just terrible. They remade. They did actually the Defender reboot on PS2. I gather was not bad, but they did. Oh God, what's its name? Bear with me. My brain is not working. It's a terrible thing. They rebooted Sinistar, which probably you may not remember. Sinistar is a great old arcade game, and it was just not wise. It was kind of like, I wonder whether it was a last roll of the dice for Midway. I remember talking to Jarvis about the remake of Narc, and he felt that it had pretty comprehensively missed the point of Narc. I don't remember anyone having anything good to say about that game.
Yeah. Context. We were just talking about other Eugene Jarvis games that had been made in the past. So yeah, Donlan, lovely man, lovely man. That episode will be going out on April 29th. April 29th is when that episode goes out for Chris Stallman and Robotron 2084. What a lovely man he is. You don't need me to tell you that if you know him himself. Next up is episode 8, and that is The Binding of Isaac. Now, fact check. Robotron 2084. In the very short time I've done this, Robotron is the oldest game that we've had on my favourite game. The Binding of Isaac is the most recent game that we've had on my favourite game. It was 2011 Binding of Isaac came out, 2011, 2012. Rebirth just came out recently on PS4 and PC, I think. That will be headed up by Danish games journalist Julie Horup, and that will be going out on, let me see, that will be going out on April 22nd. So that is going to be worth hopefully checking out. I've still actually yet to record that episode, to be honest. But yeah, my Binding of Isaac, April 22nd with Julie Horup. That is going to be worth hopefully checking out. That's it. Like I said, I've still got to record that episode. So where am I? So next up is episode 7, and no, this is going to be a good one. This is a really good one, and it's like I said, this is the first time we've had devs on to talk about maybe games that have influenced them in creating games. Next game up is Half-Life, the original Half-Life, and that is coming from Ed Stern of Splash Damage. Lovely Ed Stern. That episode is coming up on April 15th. So April 15th is... I'm just having to tweet all this out at the same time, so this is why I'm kind of way late at it. Yeah, Ed Stern, what a detailed insight into Half-Life he gave. Like, seriously, massively detailed. If you listened to season 1 last year, you will have heard Final Fantasy 9 by Alex Donaldson or Sonic 3 and Knuckles by Alan Williamson. Those in itself was detailed, but this was super lengthy, super detailed. So that'll be going on April 15th for Half-Life. Yeah. It's going to be an episode worth checking out. Next up is episode 6, and that is, bear with me just 2 seconds as I try to deal with Twitter as well. That will be The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Now, small spoiler coming up. There will be 2 Zelda games in this upcoming season of my favourite game. Here's the first. Majora's Mask, of course, just recently came out on 3DS, launched alongside the new 3DS. And that is coming from Chucklefish's Molly Carroll. Piss off, keyboard. Molly Carroll will be talking about that on, when is it? April 8th. April 8th. That'll be coming out. So yes, that is definitely a fantastic episode and one you should definitely listen to. Next, we're skipping episode 5, like I said, for a particular reason, but I'll come back to that in a second. Episode 4 is Shining Force, the old Sega Mega Drive / Master System RPG, and that is coming from writer and game developer Caitlin Tremblay. Caitlin talked a good length about Shining Force, and that is going to be one worth listening to. That is coming out on let me see. March 25th. Yeah, March 25th. That is coming out. Yeah, worth checking that out. Bear with me as I try and deal with Twitter. There we go. Right, there we go. Next up is Bayonetta. Bayonetta is the 3rd episode of My Favourite Game Season 2, and that is coming from Rhea Jenkins. Rhea Jenkins, freelance writer, of course. So Bayonetta, fantastic game that is. Bayonetta 2 is just beyond words. Absolutely check that out. On March 18th, that is coming out. Let me, because I have Rhea's Twitter wrong. Skip. Right, so March 18th, Bayonetta is coming out, that episode. Yeah, there we go. March 18th, Bayonetta, Rhea Jenkins. Check it out. So, second episode of my favourite game is another developer. That is worth checking out as well. And that will be... I should probably actually come back to XSplit now rather than Twitter. But I'm doing Twitter. Oh, fuck it. Right. And next episode is The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. The second episode I was telling you about was Zelda. Zelda: Link to the Past. That'll be done by Spilt Milk Studios' Andrew Smith. Spilt Milk, of course, doing Tango Fiesta right now. Currently finishing that up. Worth checking out. So yeah, The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, March 11th. That is coming out. So we come to the first of those 3 big episodes I was telling you about. So let me set up Twitter first. So yeah, the first of the 3 big episodes I mentioned from the outset. Episode 5. There we go. So on April 1st, my favourite game will have its first ever live episode. Its first ever live episode. So what exactly is going to be the game? Well, it's for a series that I've kind of taken the piss out of. But more because of a sequel that we will never ever see. Take a guess. So yes, I should probably turn that down a bit more now. Shenmue, the original Shenmue, April 1st. That's the 5th episode in my favourite game, Season 2. And it is the very first live episode we're ever going to do of my favourite game. Who knows, it may be the last if it all goes terribly wrong. But yes, my favourite game, Season 2's my favourite game's first ever live episode will be Shenmue with Digital Spy editor Matthew Reynolds. And yes, the irony that we're going to be talking about Shenmue on April Fool's Day is not lost on me either, because we probably will end up talking about a game that will probably be announced on that day, Shenmue 3. Not. Right, we can turn that off now. So yes, Shenmue, the original Shenmue, will be April 1st, and it'll be live, not live in person admittedly, but even still, April 1st, more details to come closer to the time. So, episode 10, bear in mind I am keeping this, there are reasons why I'm keeping this towards the end. You know how I mentioned there are 2 Zelda games in my favourite game Season 2? There's going to be 2 games of another series taking part in my favourite game this year, or this season. And here is the first. So, the season finale of my favourite game, Season 2, will be on May the 6th. That's general election day, isn't it? And that'll be on Metal Gear Solid, the original Metal Gear Solid, and that'll be with the creator of Thomas Was Alone and Volume, Mike Biffle. That's a near 2-hour special, that is, or a 2-hour episode even, I beg your pardon. I'm not even trying to advertise that as a special. But yes, that is a 2-hour, well, it's a near 2-hour special. I want to play you just a little bit of a tease that I put out the other day of Mike's episode. It's come on, bear with me. This is what happens when your computer is such a pile of shite. Okay. Oh, actually, no, I have it here in my folder. I don't know why I'm going to YouTube for. So yeah. Listen, as they say.
Nuclear.
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 Is it nuclear? Nuclear.
I always pronounce it as nuclear, not nuclear. Or
nuclear. Is it nuclear or nuclear?
I don't know.
Nuclear. I'd always say nuclear.
I always say nuclear.
That sounds better.
Yeah, that was the teaser I put out the other day. Psych! I may as well play the teaser the other day I put out of Molly Carroll's episode. That's Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask.
Like with Oblivion, the antagonist is essentially South Park Satan, and
that's a good way to sell it.
it is. It's South Park Satan.
So 9 games announced so far, which only leaves us with just one. So what is this game? I said there was 2 games to be coming from Zelda, and I said there was 2 other games to come from another series. That's Metal Gear. So Metal Gear Solid will finish it's clear obvious at this point. Metal Gear Solid is that other franchise I was talking about. So Metal Gear Solid 1, piss off keyboard. Metal Gear Solid 1 will finish the season. But what starts the season? Well, about that, there's a certain game celebrating its 10th anniversary next week.
What a thrill. Darkness and silence through the night. What a thrill. I'm searching and I'll melt into you. What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme. What a thrill, with darkness and silence through the night. What a thrill, I'm searching and I'll melt into you. What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme.
Oops. Just say oops and go home. I accidentally closed Windows Media Player. The season premiere of my favourite game next Wednesday on the 10th anniversary of the European release of Metal Gear Solid 3 is with Lee Alexander. I deeply, deeply care about this game more than words can put into question. Just perhaps not as much as The Last of Us, but to say I really, really adore this game, to say this game is special is even then in itself as an understatement. This was my favourite game for the best part of 8 years, and I cannot wait for you to listen to this next week. It's an incredible game. Lee was terrific. I only recorded this last night, in fact, but it's an absolutely incredible game, and I go into detail. Well, I don't go into detail, but I do mention why this game is as special as it is to me in the episode. So yes, my favourite game kicks off next week. My favourite game Season 2 kicks off next week on the 10th anniversary of MGS3's European release with Lee Alexander. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater kicks off my favourite game Season 2 next Wednesday. So, that's a lot. So, just to repeat, just to recap, episode 1 is Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater with Lee Alexander. That's next Wednesday. Episode 2 is with Andrew Smith of Spilt Milk Studio on The Legend of Zelda. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. That is on March 11th. Bayonetta on March 18th with freelance writer Rhea Jenkins. Episode 4 on March 25th with Caitlin Tremblay. March 25th for that one. Episode 5 is Matt Reynolds of Digital Spy on Shenmue. That's the live episode, the first ever time we're going live with my favourite game. Episode 6 is... and that's on April 1st, by the way. Episode 6 is The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask with Chucklefish's Molly Carroll on April 8th. Splash Damage's Ed Stern on Half-Life on April 15th. The Binding of Isaac with freelance writer Julie Horp on April 22nd. The Wonderful Christian Donnan on Robotron 2084 is episode 9, and that's out on April 29th. And the season finale is with Mike Biffle, of course, on May 6th on Metal Gear Solid. So that's your 10. That's your lineup for my favourite game, Season 2. Yay! Finally feels good to be able to announce this. I like teasing and I like announcing, hence why I love doing this. So yes, my favourite game Season 2, it kicks off next week. Metal Gear Solid 3 with Lee Alexander. It's going to be a good series. It's going to be a good series, and I hope you will enjoy each and every episode that comes out until early May. So thanks for watching, and I hope you'll be listening starting next week. So thank you very much for watching, and see you next week.